your child to read, it's very important that you are teaching them if a sound is a voice sound or an unvoiced sound. Now, when they are in preschool and kindergarten, you might think, why do they need to know if a sound is a voice sound or an unvoiced sound? But the reason you need to know this is because the pronunciation of words will change depending on if a sound is a voice sound or an unvoiced sound. And that's what we're going to talk about in today's video with the ending ED. In case you don't know me, my name is Erin. I'm from littleslovelearning.com. I'm a former classroom teacher. I have my master's in early childhood education, and I spend my time educating parents and other teachers how to teach kids to read correctly based on the science of reading. And in today's video, I am going to be talking to you about knowing if a sound is a voice sound or an unvoiced sound because it impacts the ending that we add to it. And we're going to talk about the ending ED. When a child sees the letters ED at the end of an action word, it is putting that action in the past. It's saying that something happened in the past. Yesterday, I jumped. Yesterday, I yelled. Yesterday, I skipped. Yesterday, I landed. So it's an action word that has ED at the end to show that it happened in the past. But there are actually 3 different pronunciations of ED. And spoiler alert, none of them is ed. Even though it's the letters ED, we don't pronounce it as ed. So here are the 3 different pronunciations that we use when we add ED to the end of an action word. It can sound like d, as in called, filled, pulled, rolled, or yelled. It could sound like t, as in asked, blinked, crashed, stuffed, wished, and jumped. Or it can sound like id, which has a schwa sound before the d. Acted, listed, added, gifted, handed, melted. All of these are action words where we've added ED to show that it happened in the past. But there are 3 different pronunciations. So you might be thinking, okay, so when do I use which pronunciation? How would I know the difference? They all are spelled ED, but they all sound differently. Well, there is actually a reason, and it goes back to knowing about voiced and unvoiced sounds. If the sound before the ED is a voiced sound, like in the word call, put your hand on your throat, call, is a voice sound. Once we add ED to that word, we are going to pronounce it as d, called, filled, pulled. It's because the sound before the ED is a voice sound. So that's why it's going to represent the d. Now, if the sound before the ED is an unvoiced sound, so the opposite, it's going to be pronounced as t. So that would be asked. Say k. It's the last sound in ask. It doesn't turn our voice box on. Asked. So then when we add ED, it's pronounced with a t sound. Blinked. Crashed. Shh. That's the last sound before the ED. It doesn't turn our voice box on. Shh. So therefore the ED is going to represent t. Crashed. Now, there's one more pronunciation of ED, and that's the schwa sound before the D. So it's like id. It's kind of a lazy sound, id. We are going to use that pronunciation if the word ends with either d or t. So if the word ends with d or t, we're going to add the id, like acted, listed, added, gifted, handed, melted. Because those words, the base word ends with a d or t before we add our ed, that's why it's pronounced id. So that actually is going to be very helpful because a lot of kids are going to think that when they see ed, they should say ed, but it's not ever ed. It's either d, t, or id. I hope this information has been helpful for you today. Just a quick tip to help you when you're teaching your child how to read and spell. A lot of people will say how crazy the English language is, but if we know some of these rules and patterns and we can put them in place for our child, it is going to make learning to read and spell so much easier. And that's what I share here on my channel. It's also what I share over on my email list. So if you're interested in getting emails from me about the science of reading and how to teach your child how to read, I will leave the link down below. I'd love for you to join our community. I also share actively on social media. So if you are on Instagram or Facebook, please come and find me. I'm at Littles Love Learning blog. Of course, you can leave comments down below. I get back to all of my comments, and you can find me on my website, littleslovelearning.com. I am here to support you on this journey of teaching your child to read. So if there's anything I can do to help you understand this information easier or answer your questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Until the next video, I hope you have a great day. Bye.